So now I have all the detail and all the beauty of all the symbols and all that stuff without actually sacrificing the punchiness that I can get rather quickly with the Stephen Slate drums, but just using the kick and the snare from our friend Chris.Alge. And of course, I could do, let's go to something heavier. Let's do a 2-measure thing for, where's my speed? Or la speed? 95, let's go to 135. Let's kill these, bye-bye. Let's do something with double bass. Now, can someone help me? Who's the new guitar player? Who's the new drummer for Dream Theater? What's his name? Mangini, right? It's Mike Mangini. Anyone? Mike Mangini? Now, Mike said something that producers... Thank you. Thank you, Cat's Eye Music. And thanks, Dave. And no, Michiel. It's not Marvin. So, Mangini said something and then practiced because producers told him this. And rightfully so. Check this out. If I'm doing this... Okay? You're putting weight onto the downbeats. So I've got hard, not so hard, loud, not so loud, loud, not so loud, and so on and so on. At this point right here, how do I do this? At some point, I don't know. So right now, snare and kick play at the same time. Traditionally, on a... Hey, Andre. Traditionally, Petrucci's not the new... Caroline, shut your trap! And when are you coming by to hang out? To make videos, come on. So, traditionally, the drums will go through a drum bus. On the drum bus, not the short bus that Michiel is on every day, on the drum bus, you have a compressor. Now, the kick has a lot of energy. Now, if that energy is hitting the compressor is going down. If the snare is there at the same time, it's pulling the snare down with it. So if you have kick and snare at the same time, at that point, the snare won't have the cacao punch. Cacao as in hot chocolate. So realistically, if they go through the same bus, it is much better to not have kick where snare is. You won't hear the kick anyway. At those speeds and all that, it is much better to have one or the other. Now, if you have this... Okay. Yes, Marco, I'll probably have a 4K version later. I'm recording it, so I'm going to have to edit it and blah, blah. Creeper, Kuiper, whatever, you can, anyone can come by, come on. So, now a multi-band comp doesn't do it. Because a good kick drum has those frequencies that the snare has, around 4K, that it has those kickity-kick frequencies. Oh, we didn't EQ the snare, by the way. We have to do that. Well, let's finish this first. So, when you do this, the best thing to do is actually to not play the kick drum when the snare is playing. Now, Mike Mangini had a discussion with a producer, and he started practicing that. Of course, he started practicing that for Dream Theater stuff in 7/8 at ridiculous speeds. And he's sitting in his hotel room and literally practicing the patterns to have, whenever he's playing the snare, not the kick drum going. So I don't think you're going to miss that bass, but that snare will come out a lot more precisely. So if you're a drummer and you want super mega kick-ass double bass parts, that is something you should be practicing. It's hard as fuck though. Yeah, you could high pass side. It's not going to do the same thing. This is the cleanest way to do it. When you're programming, of course you can do it. So even if I'm doing this, in context, it'll sound like one part. So, snare. Well, let's do the snare. Because what I usually do on the snare is a Mark EQ4, which I use on my guitars. My favorite guitar EQ. I use it in vocals. It's brilliant. It's the kind of EQ they use on Celine Dion, so it cannot be wrong. And it has this air band, which is just brilliant. So we're going to give that snare even more high end. I know we're just listening to the drums, so it's going to be too much. In context, it's brilliant. And we'll probably need a precision limiter as well, because we added quite a bit of level there. So let's look at a nice part that this would be. So we're going to add, of course, a thing here. Since it's double bass, we can't do any details with the pedal on the hi-hat, because the drummer doesn't have his foot on that pedal. So don't do, that kind of stuff, because the drummer simply can't do it. They'll just hit a thing, it goes into a certain position, and then stays there. So we're gonna... of course we have a... So, I'm sorry, we had a symbol which... No symbol when in the hi-hat at the same time. So, I'm just gonna hit... Command A, it'll select everything. I'm hitting Option. No, first I'm picking it up, then I'm hitting Option, and now copy it. Of course I copied it wrong. There we go. So I copied the whole part. So of course needs that in there again. And let's see if we can humanize that a tiny bit. By just adding a little bit of randomness and a tiny little bit of swing. So I'll copy that, same thing with holding down Option. What I just did now, I'm sorry, I'm too fast. I'm hitting 4 to go to the glue them together. I'm hitting the whole part. Now I'm hitting P, which will put my left and right marker automatically around the selected part. Which interestingly, let's say I'm in here. This is my selected part, so I'm in the drum part now, as you can see. But my loop is here. But because I'm in it, I can hit P, and it'll automatically put the left and right markers around my part that I'm working on right now. So we're gonna pick a different symbol there. Probably stupid to do that, but we'll see. People could buy that that's the same snare. Not really, but... we could layer them. It's not necessary. Nah, let's not do that. could have these in there a bit. Yeah, I'm sorry I'm too fast. Just please bitch about that. So... And, well, what makes sense here? I'm gonna go... Oh, that's the electronic. I don't know, stupid, yeah, whatever. Fine. So there's your part. Then again, programming double bass parts is kind of, who needs that crap? Let's do a heavy part. I'm gonna show you a really cool trick. So let's have a little bit of a discussion, people. Let's have a discussion. Does double bass make a song heavy? Go. I have to wait now. Does double bass make a song heavy? Because a lot of people think double bass is the tool to create a heavy part. No, not necessary. Not really. No, not for me. Sonia says it can. Whoa! Do I add reverb to my drums? Okay, we'll get to that. Nicht alleine. Okay, let's talk about the word heavy. What double bass does is it adds speed, le speed. Because it's a stream of 16th or whatever, it adds speed to the song. Heavy, the word heavy is weight. When we're talking about what is heavy, it means heavy is a word that describes weight, not speed. I don't think double bass adds weight. Let me show you one of the heaviest parts I can possibly program. Yes, it makes it drive, right, Rick? Exactly. But if you want heaviness, and I'm probably gonna have to, yeah. I didn't want to add guitar to this, but we'll have to play some guitar. Let me get a guitar here. Okay, so let's talk heavy. And then, woo, hello. Let's talk, this is so weird. Let's talk heavy. Dynamics make heaviness, exactly. So, we're gonna do a 2-measure part here. For example, blast beats, whatever they're called. Blast beats. Yeah. I don't know what you call them in English. Whatever. Those. No, I can't. I'm not gonna scream metal. Come on, it's a tutorial. Metal. Blast beats are just really fast. I don't think they make something heavy. They make something chaotic, uncontrolled, not in sync most of the time. But let's see. So we're gonna go, we have 135 beats per minute. Let's stay there. So, okay, this is going to be an ultra heavy beat. So the trick here is, gonna do a cymbal. And you do China on 2 and 4. So we are copying that. So here's another trick. That's one from John Bonham, where it's difficult to do here, but you go to 16th Triplets, and you add the loud one right before the snare and a not quite so loud one right there. So let's play some guitar to that. Of course, I don't know if you can hear it, but let's see. Gonna open the console. Looks like you can. Do I have guitar tracks open here? I'm just checking. Aux, okay, looks good. Don't even know if this thing is in tune. Woohoo! Look at it. Look at it. Look at the nice happiness. Tuneski. This, of course, the album is RGI. We're going to drop A. Rev generator 100p. So now you add accents. Beautiful. So we just added We're copying that. Let's see what else we can do. Add an accent here. Beautiful. So, let's just go from another part. Let's do some really fast 16th and see what happens. Actually, let's go even crazier. Let's go double time. And all cymbals. So let's do this in dark blue. We're going to keep this green, glue it together. Wonderful. We're gonna give these 16th a little bit of a kick, not too much. That sounds like a cooking show. We just add a pinch of salt, but that's pretty much what you do. So let's see. We need, of course, a count in, so I know where I am. Where's the click? Here. So, see what happens. I'll try to play the same thing, which of course doesn't make sense with that type of part. If I'm doing... I'll do it anyway, just to... I'll do a little bit less of the aux here. Let's see what happens. So, what is heavier? That's the big question. Double bass gives you speed. Something like this. So maybe that makes sense. Ah, I really fucked up. So let's do... something like that. Bye, Michiel. So when it comes to arranging, many metal bands will go for a double bass for, oh, it's so heavy, it's so heavy. It's not. Double bass gives you speed. It also gives you a lot of potential to fuck up because... Where am I? What? Oh, that's where I want to be. Because you have a drummer who can't actually keep that double bass going. You have a guitar player who can't really go. And it's just all... But if you want heavy and you want people to go, it's... Let's do that. Come on, let's arrange a little song. Let's forget about the double bass here. Let's copy that here. it's beautiful. I'm working on it. I'm thinking, no, let's not do that. Almost there. Oh, that's cool. Do-do, 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 do-do. Okay, so, 16th. Super simple, all. And then I need China. China. No, where's my China? Here's my China. Do-do, do-do. Okay, and that goes here. Let's try that. Wait, why is electric guitar 1 there? That doesn't make sense. Okay, fine then. So we'll double that, because that's what we do. So, we still don't have bass on there. So forget about bass. We don't do that. But, all off. I'm gonna cut this a little bit. So now we're gonna do something fun. Gonna add a contact. No, not that one. Not the 16 out one. No, go away. Just a normal contact. It's gonna be fun. So somewhere here in my 100,000 instruments is Voices of Rage. Ambiences, no. We want Evan. Let's see if that works. I don't have my keyboard on me. Let's see if I can plug that in. Working on it. Because I have a little Rolly C board here. You know the Rolly C board? It's kind of cool. So, oops, where'd my chair go? So far nothing, but where's my track? Here's my track. But I have input. That's great. That's great. We're gonna make this dark red because that's what it is. Somewhere up here. I want that up here under the drums. There you go. Let's go to Jason. Jason's good.
Turning you on kindly, he sat beside the precipice.
Beautiful. Huh? How cool is he?
He sat beside. Fear has left the table.
That sounds good.
Fear has left the table.
Of course, we want him to be a little bit earlier.
Fear has left the table.
We need him to be synced. Wait a second. Come on, Jason. Sync. Playback mode. There we go. Now he should be synced.
Fear has left the table. Do you feel you can't take cold?
Beautiful. I'll take that.
Fear has left the table. Do you feel you can't take cold?
It of course needs to be on the offbeat. Do you? On the two.
Do you feel you can't take cold?
That is beautiful.
Who was honored to wasting me away? Turning you on cut, tapping on my shoulders. Turning who was honored, he said, to when you come, steals my to open. He said, to wasting me away.
1, 2, to wait. Okay.
Do you feel you can't take cold? To wasting me away.
Beautiful. That's just, that's a gorgeous song. So there you go. Song. Where's Glenn? But all of a sudden you have something that's extremely heavy, and the drums are not doing a lot. So the trick to heavy is this, I call it Locomotive Groove. It's kick, China, or some kind of cymbal. Kick, China, snare, China. And then those awesome accents. Not like mine, which is also an awesome accent. So this is how relatively quickly you can write a very, very heavy part, if one wanted that. But let's talk about not heavy parts. With the same kit, obviously, if I'm ignoring these really heavy, the really heavy kick and snare. Where am I here? There we go. Oh, I want to be on measure. So same kit. Obviously not the same vocalist. I could do something very funky. So if I ignore this, but go back to this. Not this. See, I'm actually using 3 different kits in the same drum editor. I could have electronic effects in there like we set up earlier, like this. But it's all in the same thing. And this is where Cubase absolutely excels. For me, to do it anywhere else would be... Banana butter. Would be... I don't want to do this in a key editor and then on different MIDI tracks. I would go insane. That's just not intuitive for me. So let's do a little bit of a funky thing. And ask some things. You probably are, but I'm not seeing it. How many people do we even have in there that are bored out of their mind about this? 84. Obviously you can use any kind of VST instrument along with any other VST instrument in this drummeter. So here we have something that I would call a funky beat. Whoa! I did not imagine it like that. I imagined it more like 105. And now just the tiniest bit of shit in between. I want to say Rachel, but it's not Rachel, it's Rachael. Is that your name? Okay. Have I thought about native instruments machine hardware for step programming drums? Well, that's what I'm doing. Am I not step programming? You mean actually like having a control surface and punching them in? What would be the benefit of that? I would want to quantize them because I don't think I'm precise enough as a drummer to actually do that. And then I'd have to think about each part individually. I'd have to be able to play bass and drums and then hi-hat. Here I'm an arranger. I see the parts interlocking. If I play it individually, I might actually play things that can't be played because it can't be played because I'm hitting things several times on the same beats. I find this not as realistic as what I'm doing here. I know it's stupid, but how much reverb do I use with the drums? Very little to none. When it's a ballad, I have an AMS reverb on the snare. Everything else is room. And we can talk about that in a second. Let me just show you in context how something like this can work. And then we talk about how I'm mixing it. I didn't think that far. This is a green guitar. That's not happening. Find it. So where's my signal now? Why? Because I'm not on amp 1. So let's say I took these drums as an inspiration, and I'm gonna copy them here a couple times, and I'll track over that. Let's do that. So that's what I start with to kind of get me going. Okay, so I have a track. Something that I might have, worked out or whatever. Put this in the middle. Well, I can't because I'm not seeing my electric guitar parts. Electric guitar 1, here we go. So, and they're gone again. And this is the info. Okay. So, now, where am I? Where's my mouse? Here we go. So let me show you. Let me show you how I can now react to what I just played. Apparently, I did that anticipated snare automatically on the guitar. I could really just make that much cleaner. This is Cubase 9.5. So for example, if I wanted to really stress that now, I'd do, let's see how I can do that. I'll do stopped, dip, stopped hi-hats. Cool. I mean, I'm of course over, but just as an idea. Yeah, a drummer could do that if they. Let's see, maybe. Sorry, I'm thinking. It's all about the little details that keep it flowing in between. So, there you have a part that accompanies this funky thing very precisely, let's put it this way. Hey, here. Maybe, I don't know. Of course, you wouldn't do that with a hi-hat. And maybe nothing here. And then gunga. Oh, well, why not? Come on. That's funny. And then a flam. There you go. I want that flam a little bit harder, so I'm using the snare from Chrysalid Algae as well. Let's listen to the whole thing. So now, where am I? Now, how fake is that? I mean, it's pretty damn fake. It's as fake as it gets. But how fake does it sound? If I now put a bass line on that and all that stuff. Because I'm pretty sure that most people, including Glenn, wouldn't be able to tell. Absolutely. In a metal context where most everything, I'm sorry to say this, but most everything, dynamics are greatly reduced in metal. You don't do a lot of details on the hi-hat. No, you don't. There isn't a lot of detail and dynamics on the hi-hat. There isn't a lot of detail and dynamics on the snare. When it comes to metal, it's bold strokes, which is fine. But it's easier to do. And I'm pretty sure that in a lot of situations, Glenn, and I'll challenge him to that, and I have, wouldn't be able to tell the difference. He can tell the difference if it's badly done. Okay? If it's boom chuck, boom boom chuck, boom chuck, and you can tell on bad breaks, bad sounds, absolutely. But I don't think he can tell on something like this or on a metal track if I'm going to give it to him. And we're going to do this at some point. By the way, it is not the Rev Dynamis. In this case, it's the Rev Generator 100P.